Yeah. They ain't believe me when I told them crypto was the future. Now they trying to get in, but it's too late. We've been stacking Marvin since day one. No banks, no middlemen, just power moves. Let's get it. Yeah.
Well, here we are, everybody, and everything is once again fine in the cryptocurrency world. It was just a big old shakeout. I mean, somebody might have told you that, but I don't know who it was. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. It is Monday, the 4th of August. Holy crap, like the year is literally flying through. But anyway, 114,777. Bitcoin did exactly what we thought it would do. I mean, literally exactly what we thought it would do. Some people think this channel is just jokes. Other people are like, holy crap, 2bit is like a mysterious man. The only thing we got wrong, I mean, technically the only thing I got wrong was I didn't, and I still don't have the insider on those ETFs. But I'll get it. I will get it. Let me tell you. So anyway, lots to talk about, as you would expect. A nice recovery in the overall markets. It is a little bit of a cool off right now. So we'll talk a bit about why that is. Again, that big wick above that key support line that we talked about last night. If you caught my video this morning, it would have kind of talked you through exactly what I thought was going to happen. And everything played out pretty much on par with what we talked about. So very much my view, by the way, a very bullish move, very optimistic move in the market. And I think a good reset, reflush, certainly then sets us up, I think, for the next culmination of moves, which I think are coming this week. We've also got some news around Donald Trump, some interesting stuff around Ethereum ETFs, as well as some CFTC news. Thanks, Blazer, which is pretty bullish as well as some SEC news as well. So it feels like there's a good amount of sentiment in the market, a good amount of positive news in the market. Sorry, let me just sort this out. And yeah, it looks like we're kind of here for the ride. So lots to discuss, lots to get into. As always, we do appreciate your time in hitting that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Also, don't forget, hit that screen, like to tap the screen, like it's definitely worth it. And yeah, I haven't finished my tea. Look how much tea's in this cup. Jesus. I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty hot actually, and it's a very unique mug. Hopefully you guys didn't see it, but anyway, otherwise TikTok will probably ban me again, but whatever, it's fine. So we'll get into all of that. There is, however, some first news that I want to just talk about really quickly, because this is important to understand. As you all know, that Friday's gonna be a sad day actually. Friday's a sad day, everybody, because 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗀𝗱, who is one of the Federal Reserve governors, officially leaves. All right, so I'm sure Jerome's got us some flowers and, like, you know, maybe a nice gift, or maybe like a plant or something like that. Maybe a cactus in some sort of small plant pot. Maybe she's got that. But she does leave. Now, James Fishback. Now, Fishback, not Fishback. It's who I don't even know who that is. James Fishback. He basically was, I mean, very much bullish on gold, Bitcoin. I believe Dogecoin as well, but I might be kind of a little bit out there. He is part of the original Doge team that was put out there. Says, if asked, I would be honored to serve President Trump and our nation and the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. He would be a Trump appointee, which would be pretty good news. That would tip the favor. If you just took it for exactly what it is right now, you'd have obviously Jerome Powell, and then you would have the 8 others that sit underneath it. It would make it 7-3 if you base the last vote, with a desire now that actually we probably should see some sort of rate cuts in September. And I think they're pretty much priced in now. It's like 90% likely that the US are going to cut interest rates. We have the UK interest rates coming. I think it's Wednesday. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be literally a complete nothing burger, because God forbid we do anything in this country that actually might support working people. Do you know what I mean? That would be a travesty if you just let people buy things a little bit cheaper and make their mortgages not quite as much. So, you know, that would be a travesty, and certainly wouldn't be lying in the pockets of the cretins that run this country. But anyway, 91.9% is the current target possibility for the September 17th Federal Reserve meeting. So again, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, whoop, there it is. Look, this is obviously big news. We've gone from a negative 41% to a plus 91.9%. So you could pretty much argue that we are going to get rate cuts. The debate, though, is how high, how much, and then how many follow that. We'll talk about that in a little bit later on as well. So let's get into this. I will see you very shortly, TikTok. You're going to go and look at that, because we're going to talk about the charts, and I think it's important to discuss them. There you go. So we do need to say hello to a couple of people, though, as always. Obi Joe's here, Mark Nobi, Crackerjack's here, 37. Good to see you. Robert in the building. Blocky Crypto, good to see you. Tim, BlazeX37, welcome, welcome, welcome. JF Remix, what's going on, buddy? Nadar, Cheese in the house. Vincent P says, for your information, Bitcoin's lifestyle available trading on Radium and Jupiter, getting cheap. Nice, yeah, I saw that. I feel like they've got a big exchange listing as well, so yeah, pretty good news if you are an investor in that particular project. So shout out to you guys. So yeah, here we go then on the Bitcoin setup. I'm just making sure my screen is tracking what it should be tracking. So we talked about this retest here at the bottom, this perfect come down retest where volume support was in and this low 112. We could have come to 110, but we didn't, right? Which is good news, by the way. Pretty good news. So we got this retest here. Now, a little bit of volatility within this as people still panic sold their bags and kind of all got a bit weird about it. But this was the interesting candle here. This debate whether we were going to hold this support or whether we were going to lose it. Sorry, I was finishing my tea. So, yeah, the reality is we lost it on the 12-hour chart. Look at the 12-hour here. The 4-hour chart, we actually retested it twice before rejection. Now, again, if many of you caught my video that went up this morning, you will notice that I said we could see this bounce off this low range here, come up and retest this before a further rejection to the downside with a then strong bounce off here. Why do I say that? Well, because the minute this starts to be rejected, and you're sort of seeing it in the price right now, that with that 114.69 markets are a little bit like, oh, maybe we're going back down again. Maybe I'm going to take a little bit of profit. You know, if you think about it, this will be a decent move for a number of people. We could come down. We're going to have to keep the key support here will be the first one to look at. But I think if we don't see reversal in the Asian markets, maybe the Asian markets coming and give us a little bit of solace, which will be, oops, I didn't, I don't know. What is going on with all the clicking tonight? Jesus, come on, Tube, click the bloody thing. So if the Asian markets don't come in at around 114.1, we could then see this push down again, maybe even range down here. Now, I actually think that the fact that we have Ethereum pushing over 4.5%, at points was 6% today, tells me we're probably going to do something like this. That would be my prediction, based solely on the fact that actually the altcoin market is actually pretty hot. For example, you look here, the total 2, by the way, is at 2.7 versus the overall market at 1.31. So you could argue that Ethereum, as well as some of the other big players that have been moving in the market, for example, things like XRP has had a good run today. 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲 doesn't really move the market, but some pretty good news. Things like AVAX, Aethia, Chainlink, all pretty good. The one to keep an eye out for is whether the meme space moves. And we've seen a little bit on Brett, Doge, Shiba Inu, nothing crazy. Pump Fund now collapsing yet again. So I actually think this is favorable. For me, though, this is over the course of at least the next 4 to 6 hours to see whether we get this actual move as this kind of plays through. And if we don't, then I would absolutely see us probably coming down and retest that 112 range. Again, I don't think we necessarily go a little bit lower than that, but I think we could do that quite easily. Now, the other thing to reference here, by the way, and it does give us a little bit of an indication as to what's happening. If you take the Fibonacci from that move to the upside, take it down to where we get what you see here. And again, I'll just show you guys dead quick. Sorry, TikTok, I keep throwing you around about. Again, what you see here is the potential of the 382 Fibonacci at 114.5 to take a rebound. Look at this in terms of the fibs and what we've got doing. Everything playing out pretty much bang on track. So this is going to give us 2 little key support areas. Not really strong support areas, I think it's fair to say. But again, a Fibonacci. Now, the debate, therefore, then, if we go to this and say, well, what happens if we don't come down and retest this, and then we actually start to move back to the upside? Well, then that, again, retest here at the 115 mark is going to be critical. A break above that, though, I think we're heading back up to the 116s, 117s. The way we get there is we need to see institutional buying yet again. It's been a pretty slow day for all out there in ETF land with only, you know, very minimal. The decent volume, by the way, 2.61 billion is decent volume. BlackRock actually selling about 22 Bitcoin. I don't actually think that's a big deal, by the way. I absolutely don't believe that's a thing. Fidelity buying a bit more, as well as ARK21 Grayscale all buying, but there was some definite selling. What's interesting with this, by the way, yet again, this was on market open. I looked at the ETFs at a minute past 9 on US time. They already were priced in. They'd already been done. So my view is that you are 24 hours behind where I think the market is. So for example, and I'm not going to give a number, but I expect ETF volume to come in strong tomorrow as the market's been favorable today. So I absolutely believe that's going to be the case. We'll see what that plays out over the course of the next 24 hours. But my opinion, Bitcoin right now is actually in a pretty good place. You look at it on the daily candles, it looks very, very optimistic. From that retest low at 112, good news, all right? Pretty good news. as we start to push back up. What we don't want to do is sort of see this as a bit of a flaccid lump and then just come all the way back down, tumbling into oblivion when we've got altcoins moving. Now, ETH having a strong move, bouncing perfectly off that range as well that we talked about, 3,500. Stick that on your notepad to understand what some of those key levels are when we talk about things like ETH and XRP and all the rest of it. Again, TikTok, I'm just going to zoot you around. Look at this perfect range here. Bouncing off the top of this that we've had now on this chart for God knows how long. I mean, it's literally forever. Look how big the thing is. Probably need to like just make it a bit smaller, daughter. But, you know, that's kind of where we are and how this kind of is all playing through. Let me just really quickly do this. This is, therefore, exactly where we want to be. So we'll see where this range is. But I think ETH with a 5% move out on the back of outflows of ETFs. You need to understand that. ETFs actually had some outflows today, particularly on Ethereum and a couple of others. So, again, does sort of paint a picture in terms of where we're going. And then the rest of the altcoin market, Cardano, XRP, Solana, all the rest of it actually having a decent done. 𝗥𝗲𝗃, the only one bucking the trend. But when the market pumps, 𝗥𝗃 dumps. Simple as that. AVAX having a decent run. Aethia we touched on just a minute ago. 2% on Ondo feels solid. Still under $1 though, which is kind of nice. And then a couple of other coins down here having a reasonably solid run. Just to give you a bit of an update on the general stock market. Look at this. S&P 500, 165. Big spike on there. You'll see rotation of this capital, I think, into the crypto market. The Russell's up. We'll look at the pre-markets later on. Likewise, we see the FTSE, if anyone cares about the UK index, actually was up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. So overall, I think a solid day in the market. I was expecting it to be a little bit more bullish, I'm not going to lie. However, we are still very much in the early parts of the evening, particularly here in the UK. And 114833, if you are hitting the like button, getting bullish, and you're subscribing to the channel, doing all that kind of good stuff, I am pretty sure Bitcoin is going to go back above 115. I don't make the rules. I just talk about them. Right. Anyway, and don't forget, if you've got any questions, thoughts, opinions, views, and everything else, let me know in the chat. And as always, let Obi-Joe know that I'm going to prioritize TikTok this evening over YouTube. 37, thank you so much. Gradual gain after gradual loss. Yeah, dripping. I agree. I agree. August tends to be a pretty good month for us. So, yeah, we'll see. Hey, AM and SM, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Is the ETF for XRP get approval? What will be the multiplier? Well, you would only have to look at the previous expectations of ETFs coming in, and it was a pretty big spike. The debate, though, is the capital exhausted when it comes to ETFs? When it comes to XRP, given what we've seen over the course of maybe the last month or two, I would still expect some pretty strong capital to come in. I actually have a video talking about what it could look like on my YouTube channel, so it might be worth looking at it. JJ, what's going on, buddy? You think Bitcoin will hit 117 tomorrow? It's a big move to 117. If we could close, okay, I'll do you a deal, right? I'll do you a deal. If we can close the daily candle above 115.3, then yes, I would say that 117 is probably very much possible. You can never truly tell because you know what's going to happen. The UK could come out and be like, ah, shit, we need to fill some holes, and they could dump like, 10,000 Bitcoin or something crazy. But anyway, David, have a huge question. Drop it. Let me see what it is. I'll try and answer it the best I can. And yeah, anyway, welcome everybody. Make sure we're absolutely getting super bullish on everything. You know what to do. We appreciate you tuning in. What do you think of Litecoin? How much can that hit this cycle? Man, I just can't. Look, I don't want to be offensive here, but I just can't believe people are still investing in Litecoin. Like, just invest in something way newer and sexier than Litecoin. However, I absolutely accept Litecoin as a strong community like the Bitcoin community does, and probably will do pretty well. So, I mean, what could it do? 250 maybe? I don't think you're going to get anything crazy. It's not going to do a 10x or anything like wild like that, but I'm sure it will do pretty well, as no one ever sells their Litecoin. They just continue to hold it. Damien Brimelo, what's going on, buddy? Cheese is here as well. Good to see you. Holmes is here. Gonzalo, I sent you a message on Telegram. I upgraded my ChatGPT subscription to a paid one. I generated 14 images, and it's like, yep, that's you done for the month. I'm like, what the hell? What? I did 14 images, and of which those were like 6 backgrounds or something. Anyway, so I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe I'm in a cool down period, but the question I had was, do you just have the pro that you pay for the entire year, or do you do it by month? I'm curious. What coins would you recommend? Oh man, there's so many good coins out there right now. Do you mean like as a altcoin, not financial advice? Remember, I can't offer financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I can just give you my opinion on a couple of coins that I think are great. I really like Aerodrome Finance. I absolutely think that's going to be good, as well as Ondo, AVAX. Aethia probably needs to get moving before you really look at that in any real solid detail, but I like it. Dupe, I think, is dirt cheap right now. Sui at 352. I mean, I think that's pretty cheap as well. And yeah, if you believe what's going on with XRP, then you probably say $3 is pretty cheap on XRP as well. So yeah, and Solana at 165, I think still pretty cheap as well. If you think that's probably going to be 800, I think maybe this bull market, we'll see. 37 says Litecoin to 10K. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wow, Blazer, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I just figured that I get the like paid one, and it says like you get unlimited. Turns out that's not true. Turns out you get about 12, and it's like, nope, you're banned. I just get banned from everything. I don't really understand why, but anyway, such is life, right? Doing sponsored by Elephant Coin. Get out of here. We talked about this. This is pretty interesting news, right? Goldman Sachs, good old Goldman Sachs, saying, what's good? Send it. I'm not saying the other word. Goldman Sachs says that we expect the FOMC to deliver 3 consecutive 25 basis points cuts starting September. I think they're going to go 50 basis points in September, although it says 25. Bear in mind there'll be a new Trump appointee on the Federal Reserve, and I think they will be slow. I think by the time we get to that point, it's going to be pretty tasty. So, yeah. Tubit says, save your spit. Everything is cheap now. That's true, Vincent. That is true. So, yeah, Goldman Sachs getting pretty bullish on what's coming for Bitcoin, and you know what that means. Metaplanet, if you weren't sure, by the way, bought another 463 Bitcoin worth $53.7 million today. No strategy buy, though. Michael Saylor not buying anything today. So he was like, yep, just going to go and raise me all $4.3 billion. I'll be back. Hold my beer, said Michael Saylor. I'm going to be back soon. Now, a couple of interesting charts for you that I thought was worthy of it. Hi, mate. How safe do you really think hardware wallets are? Ledger devices hacking back. I have a Ledger wallet, and I've never had a problem with it. Ever had a problem with it. So... yeah, they're not connected to the internet. The way that these wallets get hacked, in my opinion, by the way, is through the computer, not through the wallet. So again, if you are frivolous with it, you click on links with it, you constantly have it connected to your computer, and you swing it around like you just don't care, then you're probably asking for it. Mine is well tucked away. It's never connected unless I literally go on it, do the transaction, unplug everything again. So I'd say they're safer than DeFi wallets. They're safer than keeping on exchanges. You just got to find the right one for you and diversify. So, you know, have a couple of ledgers, get a Trezor wallet, have a little bit of an exchange. You know, you'd argue if you've got something on Coinbase and Binance, you're probably all right. But, you know, don't have your $3 million portfolio on a singular ledger that you're like, way, let's go, like I'm at a rodeo. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Right, quick chart for you guys. Look at this. The Bitcoin, BTC versus the DXY. Technical and fundamental perspective, there is still significant room for further downside on the dollar, not the Bitcoin. How low do you think the DXY goes to the coming months? How will that impact Bitcoin? Generally speaking, you can see there the pink line is the DXY and the black line at the top there is the price of Bitcoin. You generally would see that the DXY dumping is favorable to the price of Bitcoin. You can see there back in 2018, also in 2021. So where we saw market cycle tops, you actually saw very much a cheap dollar. And I think this is kind of where you then end up with people moving into risk on assets such as Bitcoin, which generally seems to be a slightly better decision. And then what? Oh my God, I'm sorry, TikTok. Just these are important. You guys need to see these charts, right? And then look, turning you back around, you've got the apparent demand on the 30-day for Bitcoin. So basically, this is what is being purchased. You can see the price on the far left, and then the apparent demand, which is basically the number of Bitcoin, which is what people are trying to get. And what you can see here is we are growing this number yet again as we walk through kind of June and July. As we've seen markets dump, call me surprised, the markets dump and demand for Bitcoin starts to move back up again as well. So no surprise there. Look, in April 2025, you want to go and see what happened in April 2025. Very, very interesting. But what we see is it was the bottom of this move. It was a disaster. It's actually where we're taking our long-standing trend line from, again, where we saw the biggest rejection or the biggest kind of move to not accumulate Bitcoin. Very obvious. This is a true and absolute view specifically on how people trade it. So think about this. When the market was dumping, everyone was like, oh, I don't want to touch Bitcoin. Nope, not interested. It is terrible. When Bitcoin's going to the moon, everyone's like, yep, need to buy some. Got to get in. I'm going to miss it out. It's like a Pokemon thing. Yeah, Gonzalo should have done all of that. But what it actually says for me is that you are a massive chopper and I got banned. Why did I get banned, actually? That's not true. I wonder if I can bring it up, actually. I have to be careful. Have to be careful to see what it comes in. Let me log out because I'm in the wrong one. Log out, baby. And then log on. And hopefully it does it with not the one that I needed to do it on. So yeah, anyway, I mean, it is what it is. But this absolutely is the epitome of where you get people saying, oh, well, you know, I don't want to buy Bitcoin at this price. You know, so example, when we were talking the other day about the fact that Bitcoin came down to retest 112, no one gave a flying F about it. They're like, no, I don't want it. I'm not about it. Now it's going back up. Everyone's like, oh man, kind of, you know, Can I make some images yet? And oh yeah, you can tell me what you want, modify existing image. Yes, you can. Just tell me what kind of image you want, whether it's something you imagine. Okay, fine. All right, looks like it was just a cooldown periodo, which is bullish. Right. We're back. Anyway, Kevin, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I can't spell and a lot of words. What is going on? Yeah, well, I think that's just you, to be honest, Bits Play. So anyway, like I said, this is important to think about and does indicate exactly how people trade this market and why 98% of people are going to get wrecked. And hopefully other people that, you know, stay dialed in, stay consistent, watch certain channels, then you hopefully will do well. That's my opinion anyway. And it's a very narrow opinion. Right, on to the news then. So we've done market analysis. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin, 11467. So it is dumping a little bit. I said dumping. It's such a strong word. It's not dumping at all, but it is on a downtrend. Let's keep the 4-hour chart up just so we can see what's going on, and I'll keep an eye on the price. So yeah, Donald Trump may make 2 critical appointments in the next few days. Could this affect the markets? Now, we talked about one of them. So basically, what is he doing? Well, he reported on Sunday that he was considering several candidates for the Fed to replace the Annalisa Kungler, or whatever she's called. So we'll see. And she leaves on Friday. And also the person that did the jobs numbers. So if you remember, they got it wrong by 258,000 jobs. Therefore, there's a new potential appointee that will be going into there. So I can't remember the first name of the lady, but it's 𝗦𝗲𝗿𝗁 is the one that's going to go. So yeah, these could be 2 very much Trump-appointed bullish candidate members, of which they could desire a rate cut, start to absolutely rocket fuel the markets. Remember, rate cuts will be insane for markets. The sooner we get them, the better. And I think, you know, certainly at the minute, it looks like September we'll have to wait to. But I think once we get there, we should be in a pretty good place. So, yeah, that should be good news. And we'll see how that all kind of walks through and plays through as well. So, that's one, which is good news. There has also been some pretty interesting news on the biggest theft ever. Now, this is like 6 years old. I don't really know why it's circulating so much. If you're going to dump billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, they'd have done it. But anyway, Arkham has revealed that the Chinese mining pool Lubia, and I think Blazer actually posted this in the Marvets Telegram, was a target of a sophisticated 2020 cyber attack in which hackers stole 127,426 Bitcoin. So, you know, when we talk about China banning Bitcoin, no. China are going to accumulate Bitcoin like you've never seen before. There is literally going to be a modern day race to see who can accumulate the most amount of Bitcoin. Someone just needs to wave the flag that says go. And I think that's Xi Jinping in China at some point. Tiz chat, Holmes says, Tiz chat would get him banned. Literally doesn't even read this chat anymore. No, I just don't read your chat, Obi, because this is only the second day you've been here since about 20 years ago. No, it just wouldn't let me make any more images. They wouldn't let me make any more images, so yeah, but that's it. Don't care Trump points as long as they can do the math. I mean, that's also true. Chris Mez, what's going on? That one guy. Queef coin. Love it. El Salvador's for your head. Yeah, buying again. El Salvador once again buying Bitcoin today, which is kind of good news in it as well. So yeah, anyway, hackers don't really care about. Right, Ethereum, touched on this, and yeah, ETF 20-day inflow streak ends. No, it's like it was too good to be true with $152 million of outflows. It's fine. 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗱 investor detail, outflows among the largest since Jan 8th, ended in 20-day streak, positive net flows. Again, all part of that dump in the market. I think this will convert back to positive moves today. I absolutely think there will be. And I think tomorrow will be another good day as well. We actually saw a couple of higher purchasing, a couple of companies getting involved. So, you know, I definitely think we'll be in that world. And again, BlackRock's ETHA was the main reason behind the growth of Ethereum's ETF, reported by Bloomberg senior analyst 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗱. Don't forget, some of these guys are getting ready to launch things like Solana ETF, XRP ETFs, altcoin ETFs. So I'm not saying they need the capital, but again, it's more for me. I think it's people getting ready to maybe pivot into some of these. And, you know, if you sit and you could sit there and say, well, you know, that's not true. You don't know that. But I kind of feel like we do. And I kind of feel that's exactly how things work. So, yeah, we'll see. Devo, what's going on? ZOC's in the building as well. Good to see you guys. Tap the screen, you bullish people. Thanks, Blazer. I appreciate everybody. And yeah, if you're here on YouTube as well, we've got like 80 odd people in here. So hit that like button as well. That'd be great. And if you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. Talk about crypto every day. Keep you dialed in. Keeping you posted. Making sure you are making some moves. Really, really important. Which is good news. So yeah. Also, just FYI. And I am probably just going to have to mute you guys on TikTok 1 second. you'll have to just bear with me, okay? Because TikTok don't like it when I talk about what I'm about to talk about. So you might want to just, you know, what that? Oh my god! Oh, too bad. Oh, I was going to show you. I was going to show my long, but I still have. I'm still long on my XRP trade. I'm still long on my Bitcoin trade. My XRP trade is about 160% up right now, which is looking solid. And yeah, definitely some opportunities furthermore as to how this all plays out. So don't forget, if you want to trade the almighty cryptocurrency, check out BITUNIX live stream special campaign. Head on over there, sign up. You're going to get 50% off your trading fees and losses. This is unique to you guys using my code down in the description. And don't forget, deposit $100, trade trade that $100, going to get $40 for free as well. Great exchange, no KYC, no need for a VPN, just absolute quality when it comes to it. So do check it out. As always, that link is in the description. So yeah, take a look for sure. How much do you think XRP will hit this cycle? I'm hoping for $10. Like, I think 8 bearish, 10 normal, 12.50 bullish is where I get to. Again, not financial advice, but I think it'd be nice. I don't see a reason why it couldn't. So we'll see. Lauren Babs in the building. Chris says, too bad you're thinking of market 2026. No, I'm 2025 still, baby. I'm still 2025. It depends, though. We could get rate cuts in like September, October. You know, if we got a 50% basis point rate cut in October with no fear of recession, then, I mean, Jesus, the market's going to go wild, isn't it? Let's just take... I haven't looked at this for a while, actually. Let's just really take a quick look at this. This might tell us what the... This might tell us what the view is just on a as a potential recessionary discussion. I don't want to get too much into recessions right now because that would be bad news. So a lot of the treasuries and bonds, which by the way we think Ondo Finance will be bringing to the blockchain pretty soon. 10-year is up down. Sorry. So remember we've been watching this, or we were watching it sort of, you know, May, June time. The 10-year is going up. It's what the kind of predictions of inflation really takes its tile off. So what you can say in the last month, every single treasury yield came down. So that's yield return to investors. This is good news. 4.79 on the 30-year, 4.19. I think we got as high as 4.53. So yeah, treasury yields coming down. Likewise, treasury inflation protected securities are coming down as well, which is good news. Federal funds rate. All right, we all know where that is. And then I have actually no idea what municipal bonds are, so someone can tell me what they are. But I was going to say about the yield curve, just because I haven't really looked at it for a while, but I think it's fine. We'll assume it's fine, rather than go into any more detail around it. But yeah, unless we get some sort of crazy, like, recessionary debate, or like, I don't know, Trump just rips the rule book up and slams 50% taxes on everyone again on tariffs, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Then, yeah, we're probably all right, I think. We're probably all right. Second top 10 would also argue that the market has matured, so less reliable in early cycles. Yeah, true. I mean, look, it's definitely possible we could go into 2026. I sort of don't see it. I still subscribe to the 4-year cycle, but yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. 37 with the 10 Gs. Love it. Thank you, buddy. Following the SEC and other critical institutions, CFTC has launched a bullish initiative for cryptocurrency. I said this before Trump came into office, that the US would become a powerhouse for cryptocurrency this year, and it is exactly doing that. The CFTC is wasting no time in fulfilling President Trump's vision, making America the crypto capital of the world. The CFTC acting chair, Caroline Pham, said in an official statement that Pham stated that providing regulatory clarity and fostering innovation in digital asset markets will make the administration's vision of the golden age of crypto a reality. Last week, Trump's Digital Asset Markets Task Force released its comprehensive report. We sort of touched on that a little bit. And then the CFTC's new Crypto Sprint initiative hasn't yet detailed which proposals it will focus on, but acting chairman Pham stated that they will work closely with the SEC. And it was also reported that a broader transformational program called Project Crypto is underway. We know Paul Atkins shared a little bit of details on that. So you got the SEC, the CFTC, all going pretty bullish on Bitcoin. This can only be positive news. And certainly it's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to be in the market, in my opinion. In my opinion only. Which is good. So yeah. Meme day tomorrow. Wide 30-40% pumps. Ali G, do you think so? I hope so. Cycles are over. Utilities run coming. The best of yet to come. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I think you're probably right as well. I think you're probably right. I still think memes have got something to do, but yeah. ETF in October for XRP. It's the end of the 240 days and must decide around the 6th is the SE wheel. What the hell does that mean? But yeah, I think so. Yes, the talk. Don't buy left-hand drive. That's all I would say. Have you seen Al on here yet, Obi? He's worse than Holmes. Right. Yeah, good. Yeah, we've got a great community. Right. Anyway, continuing on. That is the news. We've sort of rattled through that. Let's take a look at a couple of interesting statistics that I think is important. Let's take a look at the liquidation heat map. What is this telling us? Where are traders positioning themselves over the course of this next few days? Take the next 2 days as an example. This is why I'm saying if we got some level of rejection, we could still come down a little bit further, retest some of this lower range. Look at the liquidity at 112, nearly $40 million. This is around here. So we could see this wick down. I'm going to just move that across a little bit further so we can see it. That could absolutely play out over the over the next 24 hours. Before then, when you see the liquidity to the upside, I mean, look at this, 40 million starting to build 116, which could be pretty good as well. So that's kind of my first thought process. The next would be all around what does the trading element of the, feel like. You go to the 7-day, what do we see? Very much people believing we are going short, which is kind of weird, really. Sorry, going short, yeah. So the liquidations to the longs is way, way less than the liquidations to the shorts. So a lot of hedge against the market, which, I guess we'll sit and see what happens. I actually think this will be a hangover from what we saw over the course of the weekend. Many people here, cumulative short links liquidations. So quite a few shorting the market right now. Overall, you'd say as a total view over the course of the week, the markets are, very much expecting the price to come down. So there you go. Very much expecting the price to come down. So we will see. And you know what happens when people think it's going to go one way? Sometimes it goes the other way. And, more often than not, I think we probably see something like that. So, yeah. One time's in the house. What's going on? Bears are getting wrecked. I hope so. Yes. Opinions on _𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝐶𝗿 and 𝗥𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝐶𝗿. Jasmy, pretty bullish on. I like _𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝐶𝗿. I hold _𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝐶𝗿. I think once they start to get some of these partnerships, then I think we'll actually start to see some real benefit into that market. They're obviously getting some integrations and some partnerships, which is long overdue. So I think Jasmy will do pretty well in fairness. And then 𝗥𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝐶𝗿, I think their game's pretty good. I'm not a big investor in 𝗥𝗲𝗍𝗁𝗂𝗍 though, so we'll see. When they expect to go down, it'll be a bear trap. Possibly, yeah. Any predictions for Toshi and Turbo? Thank you. Santos, I've talked about this before about Turbo. They got listed on Coinbase and dropped the ball. So I'm not overly optimistic with Turbo because they should have absolutely dialed it in on Coinbase and they didn't. Toshi, maybe. I see quite a lot of people talking about Toshi. I'm not an investor in it, but yeah, I mean, again, if you get on Coinbase, you probably should secure the bag. That's my opinion. So yeah, they kind of feel like they dropped the ball a little bit with that. When do you think Jasmy will go up? I mean, Jasmy's had a pretty decent run over the course of the last couple of days. You've got to think about how does it move with the market. But 2% up, it haps. So here you go, look on Jasmy, by the way, on the 4-hour chart, perfectly hit the resistance line that we drew on and is now on its way back up. Couple of lines to think about. We probably need to break this level where we are. 1523 would be key. Next indication, 1623 and 1765. Upper range, 1925 would confirm a breakout. So that's where I'm at with Jasmy. But yeah, still got a lot of optimism with it. Fire Jasmy, they fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I mean, maybe if it dumps after an 87% run up, that's true. Well, we've been dating longer, Holmes. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but anyway. Short-lived dump and bumped in Feb onwards. Yeah, we haven't met. Oh, God, you guys are having like a random. Take it into Discord, you massive choppers. Good week for ETH, MB23. Yeah, good week for ETH. Started off strong today with a nice little 5.5 to 6% move, and actually is starting to build some really nice market structure as well. So key line that we have on ETH drawn here is around 37.16. We did actually get the retest, and hell, look at this. It's actually probably a little bit lower if I think about that. Where would that be? It's probably going to be there, isn't it? 37.61, maybe even a tad lower actually. Maybe even 37.47. That's probably where we're looking for an ETH. A break above that consolidation range before then a further push to the upside. It needs to come with volume. Volume's a bit lacking at the minute. And I think that's because ETFs didn't really do much today. But if we get a bit more volume, then we should be fine. How's Pengu looking? Oh, man, I haven't even looked at Pengu. I feel like I don't want to because I'm going to be disappointed. 2-bit, it really is best not to sell XRP, but rather to move it into LLC in an irrevocable trust and leverage it. What? 2-bit, is it really best not to sell XRP, but rather to move it to an LLC in an irrevocable trust and leverage it? I mean, you are literally setting yourself up to say that I will hold XRP for the rest of my life, which I think will be pretty bullish. And yeah, I mean, the only problem I would say with that is what you're going to leverage against your capital, which doesn't feel like a great idea. If you could leverage it for yield, then that's a different story altogether. If you could leverage XRP for yield and then use the yield to live off, knowing that you still have your XRP, whether I think there's, I feel like there was a company that came out to did it. I'm not really sure, but that would be my only thing. Irrevocable trust feels very committal, albeit it's XRP, so you'd argue that it should be pretty good, but you got to understand our industry is still very, very young. And so, you know, even though Ripple is a monster, I remember back in 2017, everyone was like, Dashcoin is going to be amazing. Litecoin is going to be the biggest thing in the world. All of this kind of crazy stuff. And actually, they just ended up dissipating to nothing. So I am not sure I would irrevocably leverage it. If you could leverage it for some yield or something, then I think that would probably be a good idea. But be mindful. Try not to use yield on decentralized platforms because, yeah, that you want to be able to do yield where you still have custody of your crypto, but it's maybe locked in like a smart contract or something. You don't want to be in a world where you send your crypto and then they send you something back. MakerDAO is a good place to look at. They do good. They can do good leveraging and learning and stuff. So again, not financial advice, I'm just saying. But always look at what's going on. So yeah, look, Put Your Penguins 2.67 billion is on a bit of a dip actually. Once again, hitting this resistance line down here at the 3. And looks like it's bounced again. So yeah, maybe starting to push back to the upside. Loads of stuff coming with this. I mean, this is probably going to be one of those coins that is as big as some of the others in this bull market. But yeah, should be pretty good in my opinion. And looks pretty solid as well. So yeah, we'll see. ETH obviously looks great. Higher lows continue a nice bullish structure. Yeah, ETH looks good, by the way. ETH looks really good. BitSpace said there are things coming out to do this. Yeah. Dog and KeyCat is the best meme coin in Coinbase and in predictions. Dog in me and KeyCat on Coinbase. Are they really? Okay. We'll see. We'll take a look at them in a minute. What do you guys actually make money with crypto? I'm here just to be part of the community. Call myself an investor. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You're like, when people go, do you invest in cryptocurrency? You're like, bruh, I was buying XRP at 33 cents. I got into Pepe when it had 2 more zeros. What you don't tell people is you invested $50 in Pepe and 20 bucks in XRP. Imagine. Yeah, I'm an angel investor. Oh, cool. Yeah, what are you investing? ETH, Bitcoin, XRP, you know, all the big ones. Oh man, yeah, $2,000. That's how much Bitcoin was when I got in. Like, holy shit. And you're like, yeah, bought 10 quid's worth. Just don't tell them. Just tell them you're an early investor. Which is fun. WOG. FWOG, that meme coin, 23x possibility, put big last run. Nice. Excuse me, Bitcoin. Yeah, that was kind of a yield platform. It's just a massive Ponzi scheme scam, so don't do that. Obviously on a balance point. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, look, there's a reality with Ethereum that so many people don't see it. I've been talking about it for ages that I absolutely believe that there is a solid move on ETH. And then I think it will be the catalyst then to what that looks like for further coins such as XRP, Solana, maybe even AVAX, SUI, those kind of coins. So, you know, even Hedera, if you haven't seen my HBAR video, go and watch that one. That talks about some of the big catalysts they've got. And yeah, I might actually do a Toncoin one. And I'll tell you why. Toncoin were like, yo, 2-bit. I actually got a little bit of a, what's going on 2-bit? You know, like a little bit of a, hey, we're Toncoin. We know what you're doing over there, bro. We know what you're doing. I was like, yo, thanks, Toncoin. Yeah, here we are. Look, replying to 2-bit crypto. GM fam, let's get it. Let's get it, Toncoin. You know, they just got like a cool, you know, what, 2.4 million followers. They aren't following me, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, they're like, yo, 2-bit, what the hell's going on? Yo, Toncoin. Let's collab, bro. Let's collab. 10,000 XRP for life. Yeah, what do you want to see next, by the way? Why are you talking so fast? Because I just get excited about the markets. And I don't... The thing is, right, I've tried this. I tried this yesterday when I just talk really slowly. And it just sounds like I'm broadcasting the news. That's the problem because of who I am. And yeah, I'm from the UK, so I'm excited about the crypto markets. I can talk slower. I'll try, right? I'm going to try. Don't hold it against me. I'm going to try, okay? Okay. Not just in Celia, just in $1.1 trillion have been added to the overall market. I can't do it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I feel weird about it. I thought you had a partnership with them. They said, yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Hey, I was buying Bitcoin at, in 2017, bro. Just remember that. Wonder how Beat Protocol is going. Always buy and never look. Really? Beat Protocol? Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. Shane says, nope. What price do you render for the bull run? Oh, we looked at render before. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe... have we looked at render before? I feel like it was not doing particularly well. I feel like we're not doing 20. Oh, man. I wonder what... Yeah, we're crushing it. Got 35 in the TikTok live. Over 20,000 likes. Let's go. Render. 1.8 billion. We were looking at this like last year, weren't we? It's... All right, it's gone to this one. Oh, my God. I don't need to know about it. I just need to know the prices. I've closed it now. Yeah. Let's have a look. 366. Yeah, so this rallied quite aggressively, didn't it? Way back when. I actually really like the platform, but I think there's other coins come out now and compete it. Its all-time high was $13.87 back in February of 2024. So, I mean, it's got a long way to go to get to that, hasn't it? A long, long way to go. I mean, where's it at now? It's down 72%. I mean, look, right now, you'd be looking to just hopefully get back to break even on that, is my opinion, by the way. Man, Bitcoin back above 115. Told you it would be. Told you. You guys don't believe me. Everyone's like, oh, 2-Bit don't know what he's talking about. Oh, like someone said, someone put in one of my comments today when I did a video on XRP, and I think on my chart it was 306, and I think the price was 307, and someone put, bro, it's 307. It was just like, okay, good feedback. Thank you for that. Get out of it. To me, it's like an overexcited Labrador chasing a tennis ball. I mean, that's true. Baby Doge, it went bullish early on. Yeah, it did actually. It did. It hit like 2.1 million or something. Pulls back. I think it's pulled back a little bit now. I don't know where it's at. Have I got it on my charts? No, I haven't. Have I searched for it on my charts? No. Oh, well, I'll have a look in a minute. We'll have a look. Make XP. Yeah, I mean, SKD, we're trying, bro. We are trying. Fingers crossed we can make it happen as well. But yeah, I mean, lots of people would be very bullish on that price. Very, very bullish. Yesterday, I was asking what price render could hit this cycle. Just click on the comment and it will automatically add their name. What? Don't know what you mean by that. Anyway, what do you think of XRPL memes on First Ledger? Man, do you know what? I've never really got into the XRP memes. I just don't think it's that kind of ecosystem. It's a little bit like Cardano, isn't it? You don't really have enough memeites that want to get involved with it. So yeah, like, yeah, I'm just not sure about it, to be honest. I think XRP should just, or XRPL should stick to what it is. Interestingly, if you haven't seen my latest XRP video, it talks about what their banking license is and why it's such an important thing. They've applied, obviously, for that bank license, and there's some details that are coming out that are very, very interesting indeed. Very, very interesting indeed. So I think this will shape what the next, certainly probably what the next 6 months looks like for XRP. So yeah, we'll see. Steve says, watch your video a little bit about where you stand in percentage on XRP. I had to look, and I'm in the 1% club. Nice. Well, I think I could set for life with that coin blows out. Nice, Steve. Yeah. I thought that would be a little bit of an interest. I got loads of comments like that. They were like, bro, I'm in the 0.5% club. And you're like, Anyway, yeah, I am not, by the way. But, we can always hope so. Bro, check out Sparks run on 𝗥𝗲𝗹. I had a great run. Did we look at that yesterday? We looked at 𝗥𝗲𝗹 yesterday. Definitely. Big Al says you're probably deleting them. What? Obi? Nice one, bro. What's Al saying? Al says, ignoring one of your OGs, bro. Come on. I don't know what you've said. I am the invisible man. No one can see my chat or comments, especially not 2-Bit. I can. Yeah, I can. 2-Bit's the best YouTube crypto content ever. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Al. Al, technically tonight you are the third best community member behind Tim Share and who's number 1 tonight, by the way? And 37. What a legend 37 is. Has anyone checked on Craig, by the way? And I say this with a pinch of salt, but has anyone actually checked on him? I messaged him, or I talked to him the other night, and I was like, bro, you haven't been, like, where have you been? And he was just like, I got so sick of the crypto market. I just deleted everything and just stopped looking at it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Anyway, we don't know where he is. Breaking Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton calls for Democrats who fled the state to be promptly arrested and punished now for warrants to be issued. Oh, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? That is pretty crazy, if you ask me. Okay, I was going to show you guys something, which, again, it's important when I show you this, by the way. Why do people want me to? I don't want to host with you. It's important when I show you what I'm about to show you, right? That you don't laugh. It is important, right? sometimes people's feelings get hurt. And sometimes I feel like you guys don't care about these feelings and you should care about these feelings. What do you think about ADA in the cycle? Needs to get a stable coin. Needs to get a stable coin community over there. Otherwise it's got nothing. But please, all right, keep a straight face. It's important. But today, President Trump said that anti-crypto Elizabeth Warren is a loser. All right, so we saw her fall over at the Senate floor the other week. Trump has now called Elizabeth Warren a loser. I don't know how old this picture is, by the way, but it feels like it's very, very, very old. But anyway, you know, poor Elizabeth Warren getting a bit of heat. Tell you someone who isn't getting any heat, Cynthia Lummis. Now, Cynthia Lummis, whatever you want to call her, is pretty bullish, and she is now on record. In fact, let's listen to what she has to say, because this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but this is very interesting indeed. So, yeah, let's listen to what she had to say, because it is very, very interesting indeed. Cynthia, take it away.
But President Trump said today, seemed to clarify it, that he's not going to fire him. So we got to wait until May. And Scott Bessent is going to he's holding a process. Let me ask you something you mentioned before on digital assets. Can we focus on that for a minute? What's he done wrong?
Well, he put banks out of business. And he has withheld master accounts from financial institutions that would seem by statute to qualify to receive them. I think he's overextended his authority. And in addition to that, it's like whack-a-mole trying to do business with the Fed. Nobody will take responsibility for who is the bottom line on dealing with issues, whether it's the Fed presidents, the bank presidents, the head of bank supervision, the chair of the Federal Reserve. It is, Larry, you wouldn't believe what a morass that place is.
Is the Fed blocking the cryptocurrency revolution, in your judgment?
Absolutely.
Gosh, it's a pretty big statement. Jerome Powell is officially blocking the cryptocurrency movement. Jezza! Come on, bro. Cut the rates, move over, get Scott Bessent in there, and absolutely send it into oblivion. So there we go. Right. Good news. Good news, if you ask me. Steve, thank you so much for the 5 donation. Takes the #1 spot in the community. What a hero. Thanks, pal. Thanks. What do Stream Elements say? I forgot I'd put that in. Get more bullish than Tim Shea. I love the fact Tim answered Stream Elements. Holy shit, that's the best thing I've seen all afternoon. That's so good. That's so good. Oh man, I need to do that. I'm going to spend a bit of time doing that. Yes, to talk Powell's on the way out. Yeah, I think so. He'll probably see his term out in May. Trump's not stupid. He'll see his term out till May. That way, then there's no fear of recession, and actually, you only have to fear itself. But yeah, he's 100% getting yeeted, definitely. And then, yeah, next year, we could see, this is where you get into a potentially 2026 bull market. Why would Jez have to cut rates before now? Why do people believe conditions were right for a rate cut? Based on the data they had, his decision was correct. Now that the data has been revised, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. The only debate would be actually the true inflation number, or the actual interest rate number was very much different. So inflation was going down, the Federal Reserve weren't doing it. But you're right, which is why that woman's been fired, because the two things they look at, labor market and inflation, well, inflation was coming down, so you could argue maybe he should have cut a rate. This one just gone, maybe, if you look at it from a macro standpoint. But yeah, the jobs numbers is a disaster. I mean, that is literally a freaking disaster. So yeah, I think there's 3 to 4 months left. What would that put us at for you? So end of the year, so early middle January is like market cycle top. Has the market ever topped out in January? I don't think it has. Let's have a look. Bitcoin on let's do the monthly candles. I don't believe Bitcoin has really ever topped in a January. Or even been like pretty bullish in a January, actually. Oh, well, in fairness, actually, so this year was a good move for Bitcoin in January, March, April, May. So January 24 was bullish, I guess, a bit. Jan 23 was pretty good. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, January's look like they're actually a pretty good month. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we do get maybe we do get like a cycle top in January. The delay from the, delay in the markets, Fed cut rates 3 times in September, October, November, pushes the market 2026. Maybe. Does Bitcoin magically top in the same month every cycle? No. Did people say it magically tops in every the January? Have you trying to flex again, Holmes? I'll put you back in your box, pal. Don't come here flexing. I'll listen to you a lot of the time, but don't be giving it the big one. All right? Don't be giving it the big one, Holmes. Anyway, and what I would say is, 18th of August 2025 at 1 o'clock in the morning is when I've got the first market cycle top. And then the 25th of October 2025, also at 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when I've got the second market cycle top. So yeah, it does come in at certain points, even specific times. You watch, even when we get nearer the time, I'm going to break it down by 15-minute intervals. That's how close I'm going to get to this market. So alts only go to run for 3 months. Well, don't forget, alts generally run for about 27 days. It's a common misconception that you think alts go up for months and months and months. Altcoins rally when capital rotates out of Bitcoin. I don't think we're finished with Bitcoin yet. I think there's elements of it, but I don't think we're fully finished with it yet. So yeah, we're definitely in a world where I think there's going to be a bit more personally. So yeah, we'll see. And then the next cycle. Look, my view, and I've stated this a number of times, I am out of everything when I believe the market cycle tops in. Absolutely not going to hold a single thing. Pay my taxes and move on. How many do you have in the chat from up north in the UK? I don't know, actually. How many people are heroes? That's what I would say. It was just hence why there was 2 cuts plus the run-up on the elections. Yeah, the fact that he did 2 rate cuts before the elections would argue. He's got to go one way or the other. It's this thing where people go, well, no. I'm super bipartisan. You can't be. The whole definition of politics is like you either decide one side or the other. Like, I don't necessarily think you can be neutral. I don't think you can. Altcoins are being next days. Yeah, maybe. I guess we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Not a lot is happening tomorrow. Wednesday's the big day we need to keep an eye on. There's some good earnings coming in. There's loads of ETF expectations. We could see a crazy flurry, by the way. We could just get loads of ETFs listed on Wednesday. That'd be insane, wouldn't it? But it's a pretty boring week. Next week gets a bit spicier. That CPI data for next week's going to be a key one. Guessing BTC top is like nailing the microwave time for popcorn. Yeah, basically. Basically exactly that. Exactly that. Or then packets of rice, and you think you've made a little 2-centimeter cut and you're like, oh, this is fine. Turns out that it's literally boiling lava in those, boiling lava in those individual packets of rice. You got to be careful, right? You got to be careful. So anyway, right. No breaking news coming in, which is also a bit disappointing. Just some very green charts for the stock market and the Bitcoin market. Like I said, I would like to see BTC push 115.5. Be nice to get back up there. We'll see if we can do it. We'll see if we can do it. North of the Earth, OB, what's going on? Holmes is in Scotland, in fairness. So many people in here going to be carrying bags around roundabouts all at the end of the cycle. Please, people, do your research, take profits correctly, and don't live just on hope. That's true. Always sell on the way up. There's nothing wrong with selling and taking some profits. ETH looking great on the 1 hour. Man, I literally just don't even look at the 1 hour charts. But it is, I would absolutely say that is looking pretty solid, actually. Yeah, Bitcoin is starting to rally a little bit as well. So, you know what isn't rallying? Zebek. Why does that dump when the market pumps? So weird. So weird. But yeah, ETH looks pretty solid on the hour. Again, a break above 37 is probably what we're looking for on that one. Probably what we're looking for on that. So, yeah, look at that on the 12 hour. ETH heading up towards this line that we want to see it break above 37.48. Just keep your eyes peeled on that one for sure. For sure, bro, Spark is up 26% since I told you about it yesterday. Holy crap, Spark. Did we look at that yesterday? I forgot Elizabeth Warren was on this page. Let's have a look. Wagwan, you legend. What's going on, pal? Good to see you, buddy. Spark. Yeah, holy shit, 27%. Yeah, it is looking crazy right now. Binance, Bybit, Coinbase. Oh, it's on Mexi as well. Man, yeah, that's looking pretty bullish, isn't it? That is looking pretty bullish. All-time highs. Yeah, what was the all-time high at? 13.22. Yes, it's not far off all-time high, actually, as well. So, yeah, it's a good move. It's had a good move today. It's a big old spike as well. And actually, it's a little bit of a dip. So, I don't know enough about it, to be honest. But, yeah, 132 million market cap, 592 million in volume is a pretty big deal. So, yeah. Yes, mate. Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, I live in the UK. Live in God's own county. That's what it's all about. Did you guys figure out the like button? Obviously, I think they probably did. As always. Do you know what I mean? I've been drinking Smart Water all this cycle. I'm going to be okay. Big Al, nice. Thoughts on optimism? Man, looks like ETH just spiked. 37. ETH just spiked a little bit there, didn't it? Look at that. Nice little wick up there in the last 15 minutes up to 3,700. Let's get it, ETH. Let's go. Depends. Do you mean, what do I think of it as a blockchain that you can use, or as a holding? Do you know what I mean? As like, yeah, China aren't banning. Obijo. One time you need to watch my videos. China are not banning cryptocurrency. That's all nonsense. All of those, you know, YouTubers that put it all out should all be saying, we're sorry, we got it wrong, we jumped the gun, we didn't research, we didn't take a look into it. China are not banning crypto. So there's no way they would do. There's no way they would do. They've always done it in the past to kind of manipulate their population and people. There's no way on this earth they will ban cryptocurrency right now. No way on this earth. Homes, what's going on? We're going to quadruple top all at, and this cycle is almost over. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm pessimistic on optimism. As a blockchain, I think it's great. Would I hold? It's like it's a little bit like Arbitrum. There's a DAO coin, like, you know, had its opportunity, tried to do something. They didn't really do anything with it. It's a bit like, why would you hold it? And, yeah. I just don't think there's a point in holding it. Oh, I don't know. If I'm honest, I don't know. I don't know a use case for it. I don't know why people would. That's not true, actually. I know a use case for it. But I don't know why people would choose it over, say, something like Aptos that's got a way better ecosystem that sits in it. Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's up 7%. It's 70 cents. Its all-time high was 485, right? That's its all-time highs. It's awful. As a coin to hold, I just don't understand why people do it. That's my opinion. What coin would you recommend for new investors? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB. Anything in the top 10. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Because you're not going to go wrong with them. If you come into the market with $100 chasing $1 million, you're going to lose your $100. That's my opinion. So yeah, tag on Cardano, Ondo. So Solana, I think 650. Ondo, I definitely think could do $5 probably. Again, none of this is financial advice, and it's literally I'm picking numbers out of thin air. I mean, I have looked at some of these. Cardano, if they don't get USDC or the USDT on there, probably not a lot. Maybe a 2x. So yeah. What do you think of HBAR and AVAX? Very bullish on AVAX. Big investor into AVAX. I think I've got about $300 of that coin. And HBAR. And HBAR. I actually did a video on HBAR. You should go check it out. Buying 1,000 HBARs. New series I've started, of which I'm going to gradually make the thumbnails even crazier. So, yeah. Lots going on at HBAR. Lots going on. When you peel the skin back, some good shit going on over there. Some good stuff. Do you think the cycle is going to be different this time, or will be utility run continuously rather than the 4-year? I think the cycle could be different, and I think it'll be different based on institutional adoption versus anything else. I know people always go, well, utility's going to win, RWA narratives, tokenization, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all that I get. All that I get. I just don't necessarily believe that it's going to be different to any other time, so yeah. Yeah, Serzu Fetch AI in it as an investment group. So yeah, I think we're all pretty optimistic. I feel like the AI narrative hasn't really done anything. It feels a little bit lackluster, but it'll have its moment, I'm sure. This time will not be different. Stop believing the rubbish unless you can evidence why it's going to be different. I'll wait. I mean, look, the reality is that it can be different because you've got, billions of dollars worth of institutional investment that we've never had before in the market. So you'd argue that there is a proportion of the total supply, particularly on Bitcoin and Ethereum, that are held by assets and custodied by assets that have never been here before. The debate will always be, what does the retail influx look like? If retail comes in like it always does, in huge numbers, with massive, like crazy FOMO, buying anything they can and all that kind of stuff, then no, the markets will be exactly the same because that is the exit liquidity for people that have been here for the last 4 years. If that doesn't come in, I can't see how the market isn't different. Institutions will not move the same way that a retail investor will. So, yeah, food for thought, in my opinion. Food for thought. Yeah, I'm on the fence. I will guess. We'll tell you that's true. I'm a southerner, Stephen. No to our get out of here. JC says, okay, I'm going to give you a freebie look at SQT. It's a project from New Zealand with real legs. It's a GRT compared to only 3 million market cap. You're welcome. Okay, bro? Sure. What do you think about Say? Is it worth to hold? Interesting stuff. They're going to start building on there with XRP, I believe, or some integration with XRP and Sui, I think. So, yeah, I don't know too much about it as a chain, but yeah, I think certainly some optimism there. Let's go on 37. Look at that. Let's get it. Crushing it tonight, by the way. Crushing it, bro. Steven says, nice. I hold HBAR. I always believed in it. I bought it at 7p. Nice, bro. Yeah, that's a good buy. Yeah, HBAR 25 cents right now. And again, I talked about this from a fundamental perspective. You look at what the fibs are doing. And, you know, again, if you just look at what's been built in the background of it, where they've got a massive build out on DEX and DeFi protocols. They've got a massive AI push of which they are funding loads of it as well. Like, they really are going to try and make a big dent in this market and really secure themselves as one of those top leading ISO 222 coins. So, yeah, if you haven't seen that video, go and watch it. It's pretty good. Just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. What we don't need, we actually need the dollar to gain some strength, by the way, especially for UK, because obviously conversion rates from pound to dollars is terrible at the minute. Terrible. So yeah, Blazer says Craig is okay, just frustrated. Okay, fine. It's his first bull market, so I get it. Get it. Imagine like, just like getting to that place, you're like, that's it. I'm not live streaming tonight because the market's crap. I can't be bothered. Oh, man. These markets tend to test you. 100%. What's going on, Jay Burns? Scott's in the house. Well, what's going on, Scott? Good to see you, pal. Nice. Edinburgh's a nice place. I mean, in at the moment. Have you seen the storm up there? Holy crap. It's been wild around here. But, yeah, is what it is. Good. Good. If you, by the way, if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you're not already following me here on TikTok, we do upload content every single day. Equally, I'm trying to do a little bit more in terms of educational content. I'm not saying that I can teach you how to go make tons of money in the markets. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. But it gives my insights and views. I've been in this market since 2017. Again, not saying that I know everything, but I know a few things. So if you are interested in keeping up to date with all the latest and what's going on, it is dead simple. Here you go. Look, heading over to youtube.com/stupidcrypto. And this is going to bring you all the latest. We have a full, or certainly a build out of some of our key things around learning and education, any new projects that are coming out, as well as my daily live stream. So you can catch up on anything you've missed, some shorts, and then altcoin predictions. And again, all my playlists again here at the bottom that you can just come and check it out, as well as posts and everything else. So really trying to build out the channel as a hub if you want to go there and just kind of find some great intel and information. So worthwhile if you ask me. What do you think? More pull down is coming or it's done? I mean, look, there'll always be corrections in this market. It's a bull market. There'll always be, you know, corrections. You need them, by the way. Corrections are healthy in the market. They allow people to get in at a price they thought they might not be able to get to, which means they jump on that opportunity. You ever wanted to get into a coin and you're like, I'm not going to buy on this. Next thing, it's pumping. And you're like, I need to get in. I'm going to miss out on it. And you buy in. Next thing, it dumps. That's the correction. So that's why you want to see it. And then you want to be in a place where new investors can come in. That's how you tier up markets. And that's how prices continue to increase. So, yeah. It's Craig's own fault for buying sand. I mean, that's true. He bought Bonk, I think, as well. And I told him not to. He rang me and I think it was like up here. I think it was like 35. And I was like, why would you sell your XRP to buy Bonk? I'm not hating on Craig, because we've all been there. I'm like, I just don't think it's a good idea. And then obviously it's just gone and dumped right the way, by the way, to the line I thought it would come down to. So again, if you managed to grab some Bonk at a low price at 2.4, well done. That was a good shout. Sand is, man, I don't know what Sand's doing, but I imagine it's probably pretty bad. Sandbox, 27 cents. It's up a little bit. No time for metaverse yet, Tim. Next cycle. What's that for? Oh, yeah, the metaverse thing is, yeah. I mean, I've been saying that for ages. Go back Friday or Sunday, needs a break. I mean, that's fair play. But yeah, in terms of pullbacks, yes, there'll always be some more pullbacks. Trump could announce tomorrow he's going to fucking slam some tariffs on people, but hopefully it's not. We'll see what that looks like, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Bonk. Interesting one. Pump looks disastrous. Again, they need to turn rev share on this. Let's really quickly look at the pre-markets. Again, it's a little bit early when we stream, to be honest, but I think it's a good indication as to maybe what they're going to move like over the course of the next 24 hours. And remember, yesterday's we saw a pretty unfavorable one. Looks like today might be pretty interesting. So definitely might be pricing in a little bit more optimism in the markets. The Nikkei and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, here's where we want to sort of see, really. These are the ones that are going to open. All look like they're going to open favorably. Europe looks like it'll open favorably as well. So, yeah, pre-markets look all right, actually. Pre-markets look okay. So fingers crossed, we'll see. Bitcoin dominance up a little bit. Bitcoin holding in and ETH holding about 3,700, which would be good news as well. So yeah. Big Al, right. I grabbed a small bag. Yeah, I did have some. I bought it on the proper dump and I got rid of it. I'm not really an arsehole. Hope it's feeling better soon. Yeah, that's true, Curtis. Yeah, I think so. Look, I think Bonk's a good shout. I was going to try and grab a bag. I actually did think about rotating a little bit of ETH into Bonk today. Just like, I mean, Al owes me 1 ETH, and I was thinking maybe another one just to rotate into Bonk. But as of yet, Al's not sent me that ETH. So, you know, it says more about him than it says about me, to be honest. But whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, dear me. Craig, I said that, didn't I? I said that. Chasing green candles on Bonk. Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. We've all done it, though. Everyone's done it. Everyone's like, man, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out. No one could have actually called that dump as well. It was just what it was, but send me your wallet address. Oh, I love it, Al. I actually love it, by the way. Yeah. You want to go there, says more. You said I was ignoring you earlier, so I'm just making sure you know that I'm not. You know that I'm not. Yeah. How's Tim managed to nab the number 3 community badge off you as well, Al? Come on, Al. Bernard, I'd really 2-bit offered you his ETH earlier, but you ignored his message. Is that true, Curtis? Oh man, I always miss the good messages. Sorry. It's hard work. I'm live streaming, you know, to you guys on here, and I've got TikTok here, and I'm trying to look at this screen over here as well. Like, I'm trying, bro. I need a partner. I need someone else to come live with me and be like, yo, here I am. It's none other than Crypto Holmes. Maybe you could call yourself Crypto Holmes, actually. I used to be called Crypto Mike. Is that a thing? I wonder if it's still there. Crypto Mike, talking about BitConnect. Holy crap. Remember that? Disaster. But I imagine there's lots of other people that will be called that. Yeah, in fairness, there is a lot of crypto mics, but it's not me. It's not me. So yeah, can't help you, unfortunately. Can't help you. But yeah, I talked about mining and I talked about BitConnect and I lost all my money. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, no longer is on there. No longer is on there. Crypto mic is no longer a thing. It was cool. I had an Ethereum one side and a Bitcoin logo the other. It was super jazzy, by the way. Super jazzy, but such is life. Anyway, right. That does bring us to the end of the show as always. We appreciate your time. Bitcoin holding 1,148.91. So we need to see what happens in the Asian markets. I am hoping for an optimistic view. And I actually think that we could see an Ethereum rally as well. Certainly the altcoin market's warmed up a little bit today, which is good news. And fingers crossed we'll continue into tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be the day to keep an eye out for. And he sent me a cast miner. Yeah, if you could, mate, that'd be great. That'd be great. The one I've got's an absolute waste of time. But anyway. Let's have it out. Live on the channel. The winner can have the ETH. You will lose my dragon pattern is mega bullish that I sent you. That's true. At least you went to patterns. I was going to say, I don't fancy taking you on, Al. I reckon I'll definitely lose. Definitely. So, as always, we'll be back tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to set your alarm clocks. It's going to be pretty bullish if you ask me. So, yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the jazzy music. And I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. See you soon.